All right, we're live. All right, guys, go ahead and talk because I need to monitor the audio real
Hey,
quick before we get started.
let's
What
go.
up?
Hey, 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 hey.
Mike,
That's so funny.
hold on. The stream's still on a delay for me.
We
Yeah,
had
it
to
is.
go in hot, bro. We had to go in so hot.
It's so funny.
Just so we don't get copyrighted, that is
Hold
Lil
on one
Pump
second.
Sked
Mike talk, then Aaron talk, then Nico talk.
What's up, boys? How's it going?
Hello?
It's your boy.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
It's your boy.
Do I sound
TBB
okay?
Skeezy, dude.
Hold on.
Yeah, we good.
Dude, Tweety's so fucking hyped for this. He's got
Bro,
the fucking
yeah.
goods.
I mean, what do you expect? Me and Aaron, I picked the best topics for the podcast.
Yeah, I fuck with Tweety, dude.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're
He's
good.
not-
Tweety,
homie.
you're our bro, man.
Dude, he's got smoked wings, Dunkin' Donuts, and a Sprite, bro.
He just sprawled out on the couch,
Oh.
waiting to waste the next hour of his life.
Is this
He's
a
like, let's go.
wait? Is this just like a regular spray? We got a dirty sprayed up in here.
Oh, you got that scissor up, dude? Up in that?
You know Tweety rides dirty, bro.
Ooh, Tweety does ride dirty, don't you?
He goes, and a coffee,
Don't you
dude.
play?
All right, let's get
Yeah,
started.
bro, don't play.
None
Alright.
of those things
go
do.
together.
That actually, dude, none
Alright.
of those things go together.
Everybody chill. What's up, guys?
Cool.
TBBtv here. Today we're going to talk about conspiracy theories and what we think about them. Before we get into that, I'm going to introduce everybody. Below me, we got Caretaker. To my right, we got Dark Knight. And then in the bitch corner, we got Mike. Easy.
The bitch
We're
corner.
going to be doing things a little bit different today.
My corner does feel a little bitchy. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm weak.
We're going to be doing it different today. Nico and Aaron kind of wanted this topic. Not that we didn't, but we let them take over. But before we get in, I'm going to send it over to Mike to read his sponsor.
All right, guys. This week's episode is sponsored by Moldy Chunks, the cereal that was probably left out too long. The people over at the company Random Things We Put in a Box who have made the cereals Unborn Baby O's, Honey Horse Teeth in a Crunch, Shoelaces, and their wildly successful but seriously short-lived hit cereal called This Is Probably Poison. Present their new concoction, Moldy Chunks. It's moldy, it's chunky, and we're not really quite sure what else is in there, but put some milk on that shit. Be bold. Eat
Put
this
some
mold.
milk on that shit.
My mouth is salivating just thinking about it. Can we
Seriously.
get some of the
Seriously.
We actually have a lifetime supply. That's what they paid
dude?
us.
Yeah, I'm about it. I'm about it.
I'm eating some right now. Some would say
Are
these are
ya?
pistachios, but they're actually moldy chunks.
Wow. Okay.
Bro, I'm actually allergic to pistachios.
Are you?
Yeah, that's
Alright,
one
guys.
thing that I
Alright,
always
guys.
How allergic?
Dude, I fuck with pistachios so heavy, dude. They're so fucking good.
Okay. So, every day humans create new theories of how we got here, or what happens after death, or even theories about major events that happened in life. Some are just completely ridiculous, but then there are some that really stand out and make things interesting. We have theories on aliens watching over us as an experiment, making pyramids, etc. Simulated life, how 9/11 was an inside job, and the
That's like a
missing
meme.
Malaysian plane.
That's
I
it's
know.
shitty to
I
say, but
can
that's
never
almost a
laugh at
meme at this point.
It's such a meme,
So many
yeah.
people used to say
did,
that.
but it's
It's kind of hard to say with a straight face.
It's like Ted
dude,
Cruz
but
is the
it's-
Zodiac
no,
killer.
that shit was definitely an inside job. Most definitely.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was.
Yeah, dude. There's no doubt that it isn't. Like,
Really?
yeah, okay.
Fuck me up with some knowledge.
Listen, okay, so when so basically when you do something to like your own country in an act of like a terror or anything to where it gives you an excuse to go and declare war or to invade or anything, it's called a false flag attack. Okay, false flag attacks have been happening for years and years and years. One of the most like famous false flag attack, other than what I think 9/11 was, is when the Spanish-American War happened. Basically, we had set explosives on our ship, blew up one of our ships, and blamed it on the opposing country so that we could go in and invade and we could start war.
I remember this
So,
from history.
yes, okay, so you're right. So, like I said, everybody, that's a very familiar thing. So, if you look at when 9/11 had happened, gas prices were extremely expensive, like really expensive at the time. So the fact, like, you can't just like look at you can't just like look at this and not think like, okay, there has to be a deeper meaning to it. Like they went over there for oil. That's why everybody keeps trying to go into the Middle East. That's why Russia is currently over there right now, because the oil supply there is just unreal. So if you had control of that shit, like you would, if you had control of that shit, you would just run it. You would start your own monopoly. You would thrive in so many ways.
Yo, the crazy thing about all these things is that we could literally talk about like 9 hours for like every topic.
single one of them.
It's so crazy. There's just so much information because they're just like, yeah, this happened, but wait, there was more. And then this happened, and then you're like, but wait, there's more. And then like it's always like some like random shit happening.
Yeah.
That, like
We should
they
probably
just
touch
keep
on
going in
Syria.
more and more depth.
Because Syria, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I've heard some people talk about how Syria could be kind of like the weapons of mass destruction bullshit with Iraq.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bob Lawsblog said that, not saying 9/11 was an inside job, but the U.S. has considered false flag attacks in the past. So like that alone
Pearl Harbor.
just automatically like yeah, I mean that automatically like sparks.
Was that really
My-
false though?
No, that's just this is conspiracies.
No, I mean dude, we could sit here and say how we got here was because Aaron fucked Cthulhu, the god lord or whatever.
did.
And boom, we're all just
Who
offspring.
are you to
It's
tell
like,
me that I didn't?
I mean, they are just theories. There's no proof to any of them. If they were, then they wouldn't be theories anymore. We can just
That's
talk
true.
about them, and that's kind of like what this is about. And this is like what I like to talk about, honestly, because it really just gets you to start thinking about things. I mean, like you got the 9/11, how that could be an inside job, but then you also have like things like aliens. Like, I mean, we just talked about SpaceX the other day and about how going to going to Mars and everything, like these spark like thinking about them, because
I mean, there are aliens out there, 100%.
Dude, you know, like one of my favorite
Absolutely.
things,
I agree.
one
I mean, I
of my
agree.
like
There
one
has
of
to
my
be.
favorite quotes that I heard about aliens, like a long time ago. I forgot who said this, but he's like, it was like I think it was an astrophysicist, and he said, just some random guy. But anyways, he said, it's equally, or like, we're either alone in the universe or we're not alone in the universe, and both are like equally as terrifying.
I've heard
Yep.
that.
I love, because like imagine if we were alone in the universe, how insane that would be.
It's Carl Sagan.
I don't think it would make any sense.
That's who I thought it
if we
was.
were-
I was gonna
it
say
wouldn't make
Carl
any sense
Sagan.
if we were.
I was gonna say Carl Sagan, but then I was just like, what if I'm fucking
Like,
wrong?
why?
Just
Yeah,
fuck
but
it.
if you think of all the things that have to go right, it reduces the odds quite a bit.
I mean, not really.
It's almost
If you really think about it, because,
unless
mean-
we're in a simulation, there's no way that we're not alone.
I mean, okay, so like you have to think like we
Maybe in our galaxy.
because of like because of our species alone, oxygen is what's essential to us, and we need water and we need this and we need that to be able to survive. But who's to say that other beings out there need those same things? Like
Exactly.
it's all based off of evolution. Like we just evolved. So like the animals that were living here, that we evolved from. And I mean, this is also goes off of if you believe in evolution, even though it is a proven science thing. But that's beside the point. You're right. That's a whole other conversation that I don't want to get into. But if you look at that, like the animals that we evolved from, that's what was working for them. That's what they were surviving off of. So there is really no proof to say that like other life out there also needs oxygen and also needs these types of
Oh
things,
yeah,
because
you
we
have
don't know.
absolutely. You just have absolutely no fucking idea at all.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's all speculation until we get fucking
Absolutely.
But are we
ass
talking? I think we should probably clarify before we get too deep into this. Are we talking like intelligent life, like human level life, or are we talking just like even a like a microbe?
I mean, whenever somebody says aliens, I assume they mean like intelligent life, unless
Yeah,
they're
like
talking about
civilized.
like illegal Mexicans or
Okay.
something like
Yeah,
that.
because I
I'm
mean,
just
like,
making sure.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure organisms have already been found on other planets, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we
I don't think
no,
so.
we haven't found
We haven't.
any,
Yeah,
Okay.
any-
We found
Anything.
no extraterrestrial life at all.
we found a microbe on the International Space Station, but they concluded that it came from
us.
us.
Yeah.
That's so fucking.
I'm sorry, but did you see the comment that just
Yeah,
came?
wait,
up?
what?
Let's stay on topic. Let's stay on topic.
No, come on, we gotta answer that one first, dude. That's wicked funny. Come on. Wait.
Would you rather have
Yeah.
super speed but only be able to run with your eyes closed, or turn invisible but you have to scream at the top of your lungs whenever you are invisible? People would be like, where the fuck is that coming from?
You're just in a room.
Could you imagine, like, all right, you're just like, all right, I'm gonna go and get out of this place, but as soon as you go in, you just start screaming, dude.
Dude,
All right, all right, all right. That was good. That was a good
Dude, I'd
laugh.
much-
We're gonna go back.
I'd much rather be able to turn invisible though. I have to fucking scream.
Yeah, dude, being super speed, being able to run with your eyes closed just sounds more dangerous, dude. It's just like,
you would die.
time to fight
immediately.
crime.
Be able to read Braille really fast.
Yeah, I
Oh
guess
my
so.
God. You just instantly crash into something.
The thing, okay, but
You
going
can
back,
read Braille really fast. He
back
says.
to the topic, the thing I think about a lot when I think about aliens is like the timing, because like I think it was either Tweety or Bob said we're sending out radio waves but they're not being like heard. The thing is like the timing, because like it takes so long for certain light to reach us that even if there was an intelligent species out there, it would take like millions of years for their signals to get to us, and by then they might have already went extinct, or you know what I mean?
Unless they had a warp drive.
I mean, it depends. I guess that would. So I understand what you're saying, Eric, but so I guess it kind of depends on if you think, because there's people out there like that think that they're not like that these aliens are, how do I say it, like not more intelligent or more advanced than we are, that they are like, you know, along the same lines as we are. But then there are people who think that because they're aliens that they have to be
What's up,
far more
Quadro?
intelligent than us. That they have to be far more intelligent than us because, you know, because of like the signs that it's been here, like like the pyramids, for example. Like people look at pyramids and they're like, okay, this has to be aliens, and because it has to be aliens, they have to be more advanced than us because we couldn't even make pyramids ourselves with the equipment that we have today.
Right.
Dude, the pyramids.
So it
is
kinda
really
just
fucking
depends.
Interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's stay on the aliens though, because we can talk about aliens for a while.
I mean,
I mean, dude,
aliens, dude.
I mean, what about the fact that you
is
could just
pyramids.
YouTube?
Yeah, I
like,
was
you
just
YouTube
thinking of that,
literally
Mike.
like hundreds of videos of like suspected UFOs. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's countless amounts of videos of people saying that they see shit in the sky.
Dude, I feel like
didn't the department? I'm sorry, but didn't the Department of Defense just release a video about a UFO because it is an unidentified flying object? But they did just release a video about a UFO.
Yeah, it was the U.S. Navy. They were doing a flying exercise, and one of their planes was doing a flyby, and there was
Okay.
like just a random thing that was kind of flying through the sky, and they had the audio of like the pilot, and he was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Wait, was
Yeah.
this like recently?
yeah, imagine their guns.
Because I
mean, would we be
feel
able
like
to
I know
fuck
what
with
you're
their
talking
shit?
about, but I'm pretty sure that in that video they had like that there was like two flying objects like right next to each other, hauling ass.
Let me look.
Dude,
Yeah,
yo,
I'm not
It could be a
100%
totally
sure.
different thing though. I don't know.
if I was an alien, I would 100% for sure be like fuck with Earth like all the fucking time, like just like appear out of nowhere to like
Oh,
some
dude,
random
there's
person
a-
out in the fucking thing.
But okay, so like
In the
so
boonies.
just hear me
Here,
out
I'm gonna
about
pull
this,
up
okay?
I'm gonna pull up a video.
So
for you
I
guys
have
this
it.
is
I
something
already
that
had it.
I think is pretty interesting.
Aaron, I
okay?
already
So-
have one. I'm sending it in the Discord. Sorry.
So, Mike, you just said like if you were an alien, you would fuck with Earth a little bit.
I mean,
because-
just as a joke, but yeah, I
Okay.
mean that would be so hilarious. Just like, can you imagine just like popping out of like as a human? It's funny. It's probably not funny to like, but like, imagine just popping out of like a time machine just in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they're like, "Oh goddamn, I think there's a time machine out there," and then you just
But okay,
disappear again, and then they have to
right.
like fucking tell people they've seen like something appear out of nowhere.
But okay, so like how you said that like you would kind of like fuck with like yeah, it is a joke, but like that very well could be happening now because like they're like okay, so back in Aztec, Mayan, Incan times, you know, like they had things that they referred to as gods. And now
Yeah,
something to think
I-
about is what if they weren't gods? Like what if they were just aliens, but because we
What if
couldn't
they're humans?
I mean, very well could be like, but I mean, we don't know. But like, it's interesting to think about, like, because back then, they might not have been able to fathom the idea of aliens or somebody from a different planet, like because you're very early
Oh, yeah,
into
'cause
this time.
They had no idea
don't-
even. They didn't even.
Yeah.
I think of like in the Egyptian time that you're like talking about, like with like how like the pyramids and stuff like that, like when it was being built, like with like the hieroglyphics on the wall.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, like a little bit of everything, to be honest, because like it doesn't just have to be Egyptian time. Like I
No,
mean,
I think it's a
even
pretty like new like idea for people to be more accepting that there's other things out there. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, like what I'm saying is that like in like perspectively, like yeah, like what Nico's saying, like back then they didn't even have like people like talking about like beyond the sky, probably.
Yeah.
Or
Oh
at
yeah.
least not anybody that
I mean,
was
people
taken
had
seriously.
people had no idea what was going on. You know.
Yeah,
what I
they were
mean?
just like, we're in this area, fucking build shit. That's what's mind blowing to me because like, why did they just decide to build the
Like
pyramids?
a good example of how like recent it is like we still refer to the sun as setting and rising. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like that shit doesn't happen.
yeah, I know.
yeah, I mean it's.
What are
but,
you
like,
putting in the middle over here, Eric? You haven't said a word in like 5 minutes. You're just making a goddamn collage in the middle of our fucking screen.
No, I just threw up the video that we were talking about because you guys were talking about something else. I didn't think we were gonna get to it, so I just threw it up for them to see.
No,
Oh, sure.
there's just a video
Yeah, it's just a video of the UFO
for the
moving
first
around.
like 3 minutes of that video that I sent into the Discord.
Yeah, I just like
Oh, UFO.
it's just like people are becoming more accepting to it, and I think that's why people are starting to like think about things, and like that's why these conspiracy theories have really came out. Like I would say more popular like in the last like decade, to be honest. But I mean, there's so many signs that just like make you question history. Like there's like hieroglyphics of like people riding triceratops, but like dinosaurs were extinct years before humans, so like how is that even possible? How would they know what a triceratops looks like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like there's just like there's a lot of things in it to like just make you think about it. I mean, like I said before, there are just theories, but like a lot of this shit adds up, dude. Like if you really think about it.
Well, if you what makes it worse is that what we've been told, especially about the pyramids, that doesn't add up. Like
The pyramids do not add up.
it's
They
not
don't,
only
because
it's not only do the theories, the new theories that we've been talking about add up, it's just the ones that we've been taught in school don't at all. Like the pyramids were not built by slaves. That couldn't happen. And there's
you
no
can-
way.
Yeah, you
That like that it was like physically impossible for the time allotted that they said they built them in for to be done.
Yeah, dude, it's been proven multiple times because we don't even have equipment because the
So do you think they
size
just got
of
the time wrong?
these
I mean, dude, they're fucking
And the constraints.
huge.
this
Yeah.
They're so goddamn big, bro.
you're telling me
crazy.
okay, you're telling me that these guys back in Egyptian time were able to construct a rope heavy enough to be pulled by what would have to be about 300 to 400 people, probably more than that, to be honest, to construct a pulley to pick up blocks at a time and put them down, pick them up even higher. Like that doesn't make any sense. You can't. It does not physically make sense in the time period that they were at.
And what's really weird, like I don't know if you guys have looked into the pyramids a whole bunch, but like there's theories that the pyramids were used for like nuclear power or like water, hydraulic power. And then
Mhm.
also like another good tidbit of information, think about trying to move all those blocks so precise that it would be aligned perfectly with the dimensions of the earth and true north. Did you guys
Right.
know that?
Isn't it like perfectly geographically like center?
Yep.
Stuff like that just makes me think that we've gotten like so many things about history just completely wrong. Like
No, we
entirely.
have. We
I-
have. Like,
I know,
most
but I'm
definitely.
saying like terribly wrong. Like it like we think it was like Egyptians or something, and it was actually just like an advanced civilization that just like fucking killed itself or something. Or but like that, what makes me think about that is like what they're gonna say about our civilization in about like 300 years. I think
But
about
the
that.
thing
all
is
the time.
that we have. But the thing is we have proof as to like how we're doing things.
No, we don't. If
It depends on what you're
things get
looking at.
blown, if
Depends
things
on-
get blown up, dude, we have literally almost zero proof. We have like shit back to like the 90s.
Right. But I'm
Most of
saying
our
like
stuff's
it
stored, like,
depends.
entirely digitally right now. It's like
Yeah, I mean it depends on like what you're referencing to. But
yeah.
Tweety this said humans could not live in Dino's time due to the atmosphere was so vastly different. Right, and that's what we've been taught is that the atmosphere was vastly different. But then again, like how how would humans of that time know what these dinosaurs looked like? Like the only reason we knew what they looked like was because we had the equipment, time, and manpower to be able to go out and dig and look for bones and put them together to be able to construct what dinosaurs looked like.
And even
I
even
highly
then,
doubt.
even
Maybe
then,
it's just
Yeah,
art.
and then use our technology to
even
Maybe it was
Right.
just like
virtually
maybe-
generate what they look like.
well, they have like even then we had to have like certain people that are experts, not experts, but there were certain people designated to almost
I don't
draw
like
and
pistachios.
guess what the dinosaurs actually looked like. I watched a video that said we might even have the colors of the dinosaurs wrong. Like they could have been purple for all we fucking know.
Oh yeah.
Right.
No, for real.
Giant
We
fucking
don't know.
Barneys walking around. I have no idea.
Just Barney.
Fucking Clifford
Oh
the
my
dog
God.
walking around.
Oh my god, dude. That'd be so
Shit would have been
ridiculous.
insane to live in. Like, no, thank you,
What if they talked?
dude.
Imagine that shit. I know they
Dinosaurs
wouldn't
that
have.
just
Have you
talk.
guys heard about
They
the?
just spoke English. Like, doesn't make sense why I can talk right now, but hello, little man.
Have you
What the
guys
fuck is
have you
going
guys heard
on?
of the pyramid power plant thing?
Mm-hmm.
Have Mike and Aaron, have you heard of that?
The
No.
what?
Dude,
Pyramid
I'm
power
completely
plant?
in the dark about conspiracy theories besides like JFK.
That's a good conspiracy theory to talk about too. So
love that
essentially, to sum it up in like a quick and easy, simple way to understand it, the pyramids on the inside were built not to house dead bodies, but to convert like not electrical power, either magnetic
Yeah.
power, nuclear power, or hydraulic power into like electricity.
Now some
Because weren't
were-
they like coated in gold or some shit like that?
Well,
To be,
that-
like
And then the insides, I've seen videos of people trying to like figure it out like logically how it would work, and I saw a video that was explaining how, because there used to be a big wall around the, kind of like a moat around the Great Pyramid, and they think that they would trap water in there and then release it through the main entrance. I don't know. It's pretty complicated. You have to go watch it. I can't explain it.
right,
It's like way too complicated, dude.
dude. We should watch these UFO videos.
No.
Mike's against watching videos, bro.
Dude, I just think, all right, if a lot of our content's gonna be on audio too, it's just like really odd if like there's just like a 10-minute or like 5-minute gap in the audio and they're like, yeah, we're gonna watch this video, and then it just gets copyrighted, and then we have like elevator music like do, 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 do,
Fair.
do,
I guess we should do a better job. We should have explained those better for people who listen on the podcast.
or at least like
listen on-
explain the video.
That or
Where people are
we can
listening?
just cut it out when I do the audio.
Yeah, could also do that.
Are you recording this right now?
Yeah, I'm recording.
All right.
A
Maybe we could
large
do that.
purple dragon said the very tip was gold, the rest was covered in smooth marble.
Interesting.
I haven't heard that.
So yeah, I mean, it's just it
It's just
really
the
just
flow of
makes you think,
information.
to be honest.
It's just the flow of information. There's so many disparities between like everything that I read about conspiracy theories and shit.
But,
It's just like hard to kind of even keep track of everything that we hear. You know
Okay,
what I
so
mean?
Mike, you said that you said you love the JFK
Yeah.
conspiracy theory. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts about the JFK conspiracy then?
Do you mean, do I think that Lee Harvey Oswald shot and killed the president?
What do you think about it?
I think that it was probably two people, one on the grassy knoll, one and Lee Harvey Oswald, and Lee Harvey Oswald was an informant or pushed by the FBI to assassinate the president, and then afterwards their patsy was killed by another patsy that was
Yeah,
Jack Ruby.
they killed the
Okay.
man.
So I'm glad that you brought this up because okay, so if you believe that, then do you also believe that like Osama bin Laden was actually like in on our government?
What do you mean by in our
Um,
government?
Because there's
think-
articles that you can see. I mean, like I said, like I'm
You
gonna
know
say
what's
this
weird?
now.
Somebody was saying something about that the other day. Was that it was really weird how Zero Dark 30 came out so fast right after Osama bin Laden was killed.
Mm-hmm. But there's articles that you can look up. I could try to find them, but it would kind of take me a little bit to figure out exactly what the article was. But there has been articles and people talking about how Osama bin Laden was actually a member of the U.S. CIA.
Really?
I mean, was
Shut
he
the
not like
fuck
was he
up.
not
No
like
way.
friends with like the Bush family?
He was, yeah, like, but he was actually part of the CIA like a couple
Bush
years
family's
before the whole thing happened. So there's like a lot of like,
That's
there's,
fucking crazy.
yeah. So like that is another thing like why 9/11 is such like a talked about thing, because like for all we know, dude, Osama bin Laden's sitting on an island somewhere sipping some pina coladas.
Dude,
Right.
this shit is so. This is my thing about conspiracy theories.
Right
is
next to
that,
Tupac.
Like, it's
Right next to
Tupac's
Tupac.
dead, dude. Tupac's dead. As much as I hate to say it, Tupac is dead, dude.
What were you about to say,
But-
Mike?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that like it's so, like, I don't know. I guess at this point, you get down a rabbit hole when you go to conspiracies, which is why I kind of like stay away from them and why I don't really have too much information to add into this topic, because like in the JFK one, like there's just so much information that's like withheld. There's just, you can never really know, and at the end of the day, it comes up
Yeah.
to like,
Yeah, it's really hard to decipher what information is true and what's not.
right,
Absolutely.
and then you
I think that's what makes it
kind of
fun.
just resign yourself to just like, well, the government's gonna fuck me, they're gonna lie to me, fucking what the fuck ever.
I mean, that's the
Okay,
bottom line.
so-
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So this is
Hey, good
This
night,
is
Mr.
an-
Not Quadro Not. Thanks for coming in and
I didn't
following.
get the follow notification. My bad, dude.
Hey, thanks for the follow, man. Okay, so this is an article about what Cuban leader Fidel Castro had said to the media. It says Cuban leader Fidel Castro has said that Al Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden is a bought and paid for CIA agent who always popped up when former U.S. President George W. Bush needed to scare the world, arguing that documents recently posted on the internet prove it. Anytime Bush would stir up fear and make a big speech, bin Laden would appear threatening people with the story about what he was going to do. Castro told state media during a meeting with Lithuanian-born writer known for advancing conspiracy theories about world domination. Bush never lacked for bin Laden's support. He was a subordinate.
Interesting.
What's the source on this?
This is from NDTV. I don't know exactly what it is. Like I said, this is just one of the articles that I just saw. I'm trying to find the ones that like I looked at, but
I'd like to think that our government is like mostly transparent with us, but it's like,
if they told us half the things that they're keeping, our world would just be mayhem. It would
Yeah,
just
like
be
you
I
said,
think that
they
there's
have to
a-
keep some type of order with like the way
there's
that they
some-
do things,
there's
obviously.
some type of super powerful hierarchy of people that are even above all governments that just run the entire world, and they're in cahoots with the aliens.
Oh, most definitely. I agree.
That's the
No,
most
most definitely. I
conspiracy
definitely
fucking
agree with
nut
that.
thing I've ever heard.
Nah, like I mean, if you really think about it, like we could all just be like an
Just
experiment.
absolutely crazy shit.
We could all be a simulation.
I mean, we would
I
have
mean,
no idea.
simulation would also just be like a form of an experiment. But I mean, aliens could have easily came to our planet when
Or
our government
entertainment.
started to be formed, and said, "Hey,
Entertainment.
listen, we can totally just fuck up your entire planet. Just keep us keep it down. We're just gonna observe. You guys do your own thing. We'll help you guys out time to time." Because like, if you look at like advancement in technology over the years, like some of it is a pretty crazy leap in like time. Like throughout like the 2-year span, you know, technology just like suddenly just jumps. Like
Oh yeah.
there are some things that like just make you kind of think. Like
I haven't felt like it has kind of jumped, really. I felt like it's
you
kind
don't
of
think
just
so
been
with like cell phones?
That's why I think we might be in a simulation, is because like, no, like that's just, I don't. Okay, so like I think that like for the past 20 years maybe we've been, if it's felt like we really haven't made much advancements besides like comfort advancements. Like we've made things like ease of living has like increased. That's like,
Yeah, but
felt like.
computing power has like exponentially increased.
yeah,
Ex-
That's
like,
true.
tremendously.
So has
Like
so
imagine
has,
trying to
But
do
not-
this right now,
we
what we're doing
We just landed
on a fucking
Yeah, this is
1990
rocket
computer.
thrusters
this
by
is pretty
themselves.
nuts, to be honest, though.
to be reused to launch more rockets into space.
The internet forever is just like absolutely the craziest thing of all time, but I also hate it at the same time. I love it.
I mean, with okay, so then you got okay, but then so if you say this is like a simulation or whatnot, it's still a form of an experiment. But you
Yeah,
don't think
or
that cell
entertainment.
phone? I mean,
What?
sure, but I mean, like you don't think that you don't think cell phones have made it like a really big jump? Like we went from a flip phone
Prospectively.
and slide keyboards to just like a smartphone where you could just like take, it was a camera, it was a video, it was all this stuff in just one, and like you could do all this stuff. Like there was no like in between, like,
I
hey,
mean,
we're
bro,
gonna
It's
start.
only, but
when I was in the
I
sixth grade, my mom had the Razor phone, and
Yeah,
like,
same.
you know what I mean? I'm 20 years old with the iPhone X. It's like that's a fucking difference, bro.
Yeah.
That shit's
I think it's
crazy.
just like perspective.
Yeah.
So like yeah, it's jumped a shit ton, but like I feel like it's expected. Like once computing was figured out, like in like even the smallest aspect, we've only just kind of yeah, like you know what I'm trying to say. Like it's not that we haven't increased like exponentially in like from phones to like now just be smartphones and like the internet, and then like when we didn't have internet, and then from like early computers that only had like 16 fucking kilobytes of fucking RAM to like what they have now. But like what I'm saying is it
Are you talking
it just kind of
philosophically?
feels
We haven't.
no, just in the grant, like over like a period of time, it's felt like we haven't really advanced. Like there should have been more advancements in the past like 30 years in different areas that like I feel like haven't, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of
Well,
just keeping us all
one
comfortable.
huge one is space travel, like for sure.
Right.
It's just
But
that's
I mean,
strictly
like,
just because of budget, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, because we cut funding from NASA almost entirely.
I
It's
mean,
like
is
fucking
it budget? I mean, is it really budget? Like, you don't think that the government's like, we're just gonna pull some money out of that? You know, we don't really want to get you guys past the moon type thing.
no,
Like,
that's what budget. What we mean by budget. They cut all their funding. They have no money.
yeah, I
They have
know.
to give
There's
all
a
these baby
reason for
boomers
that.
their social security.
I mean, maybe, but like, but you gotta be, you're telling me that all this money is just kind of just like, no, dude, they pulled that money for a reason, like other than just social security. But um,
Well,
Mike,
if
on your remark about like the advance
if there's
in
one,
life,
you know what's crazy? Before we leave away from the fact that like the simulation thing is like, because they're talking about like the outnumbering the one real universe. If the odds, if there is one simulated universe or one simulated like reality, odds are we're all simulated.
yeah, that's what Bob Loblaw said. That it was actually from Elon Musk. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to think about. But like, okay, you said like you were talking about the advancements in like technology and life and like advancements in general. Like,
Mhm.
like there has been advancements, but because of how quote unquote advanced our society is right now, these advancements aren't like groundbreaking innovations. Like when TVs were introduced, like it was just like this phenomenon because TVs were never a thing. Nothing has really been like created, if you know what I'm saying. Like it's just been like progressively like making the things that we have now
Right.
better. And like that's what I find interesting. Like like I know what like I guess I know what you're saying, like in forms of like we haven't had anything like created that's been like groundbreaking innovative type thing, like, but we have had advancements in the things that we have now that are just bizarre. Like that's just like absolutely and crazy. And I think like the biggest thing is technology in like the medicine and like the medical world. The advancements in that have been crazy dramatic, and like some of it just doesn't add up, like as to how they can like take something that we already have and make it into this thing that you can like basically just like draw things in midair and do all this shit. Like it's like it's pretty bizarre to think about.
In the past couple of years, the robotics and like advancements towards like artificial intelligence have moved like really far. Though,
Mhm.
See, 50
but
years
like, that's
ago,
just recently.
50 years
If we would have
ago,
showed somebody our iPhone like 50 years ago, they would have. That's what's crazy.
50 years ago, they used to cut the center of your brain in half because that was the only thing they could think of. Now they can stick you in a big fucking metal tube and see exactly what your brain looks like and tell you what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like that's like the past 100 years. If you showed the past, not even the past 100 years, if you showed the past 50 years to someone from like the 1800s, they would shit themselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like the Hubble telescope.
They would
obviously
probably die
they'd
of
be
like
"You're from the future."
fucking craziness. If that's a thing.
Yeah, if they told anybody, they'd be like, "Some man came out from the sky and he showed me a box that was in his pocket,
And that
it
goes
had
back to,
pictures of people on it," and they'd be like, "Okay, to the loony bin with you."
like what Nico said. Like anything, okay. I think it's a quote from somebody, I don't know where I heard it from. Any sufficiently advanced technology would appear as magic to someone else, like a lesser civilization. So like
Oh, yeah.
Just be dumbfounded.
if you showed a caveman, not even a caveman, if you showed someone from the 1800s
caveman.
an iPhone, they would be like, "What is this sorcery?"
Seriously.
Like for
They'd
real.
burn you at the fucking stake, dude.
And that
No,
and
they
that
absolutely would.
and that goes back to what Nico was talking about with like the aliens in the pyramids. We would have thought of them as gods easily, like 100%, if we were such a.
They would have thought of us as gods.
It was Arthur C. Clarke, by the way, that said that.
Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of backlash on that law that I'm finding.
Backlash.
Yeah, like
It's not a law.
they're not.
It's just a. Well, is it a law?
No, yeah, it's one of Clark's 3 laws actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
I
saw
have
as
it
a
pulled up
quote.
right now. I mean, it is one of his quotes, but it's quote unquote technically one of his 3 laws. Here we'll actually look at what 3 laws those were.
Is it like, oh, these are my 3 laws, or is it like scientifically determined as a law?
These are my
That's
laws.
what I'm
Follow
trying
them.
to. Okay, it says British science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke formulated 3 adages. I think it's I don't know what
Yeah,
the
so
fuck
it's,
that
it's
word
not
is.
like a scientific law.
That are
just-
known as Clarke's 3 laws, of which the 3rd law is the best known and most widely cited. 1. When a distinguished but elderly scientist states that something is possible, he is almost certainly right. When he states that something is impossible, he is very probably wrong. The 2nd, the only way of discovering the limits of the possible is to venture a little way past them to the impossible. And then the 3rd one is any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yep, that's the one I was talking about.
Interesting.
So, fuck. So is he saying that like Stephen Hawking was wrong about time travel, so we can create a time machine?
I don't think time travel is possible. That's just me though.
I think technically it's possible. Technically, not in the way we think it is.
It depends on the way
Technically
that
it
you're
is, too.
thinking of. It depends on the way that you're thinking of it because time. I want to say in the time in the, it's time in a certain dimension is real, but
It's a
time in
dimension.
yeah, but time in our dimension is not real
It's
because time was
relative.
time was yeah
It is.
time was like
It's-
time was like
relative to
technically
you.
right
to our own
because
dimensions, to our 3 dimensions.
yeah because like I mean if you if you think about it like I'm sure that time was probably just created by like some dude being like, all right, meet me here when the sun is over there and we'll meet up type thing. And like that can maybe have like stemmed off into anything else, but like age, minutes, hours, like those things are just like made up. Those things
Yeah.
were just things that humans created.
Well,
You
time
don't
is just
see-
time
you
is
don't
only
see animals just celebrating birthdays or anything like that. Like you don't see like animals like this fawn over here is 2 years today. Happy
Right.
birthday. Like because they don't know.
Here's
They just
some
know.
berries.
Right. They just know instincts. They just know we hunt, we go and eat in the morning and or when the sun's out, we go to bed at night. Like that's all
Well,
they know.
time universally is just a measurement of like the expansion of our universe. Basically, it's like how far the universe
like
is
I
constantly
said-
expanding. So
Like I said, in one of the dimensions it is real, but in our physical dimension it's not. It's just something that was made up. So it depends on what you're talking about.
Well, I'm talking. I guess I'm talking about all forms of time travel, like either also displacement, but like
Okay.
what do you think would happen when the universe just gets to a point where it can't expand anymore?
I mean, it can't. The space is just always expanding. It will
It's
never not
accelerating.
expand.
It's
Is it?
expanding faster and faster. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm saying, do you know this for a fact? Like it, not that it's expanding, obviously, but I mean that it will never
That
reach
it's
a finite point.
infinite.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, yeah, scientists have proven that. I'm pretty sure just by knowing that, like,
It's going
infinite.
faster
It's
than
not.
it was, therefore it's not going to stop. Right.
Well,
I mean-
there's theories that
That it's
eventually
still exploding and then it's
that
going
it
to
will
come back.
it will hit a point and then it will retract.
Yeah.
And
But-
like that's a really interesting theory. Is the big crunch is what they call it.
Tweety this says the reason why the technology got so advanced quick is because of the technology explosion, is because of the invention of the telephone, then fax, then internet. We got information quicker. Yeah, I'm not.
And we're still
like I
just
said,
as stupid.
I'm saying, yeah, because dude, people like Mike said on the one podcast, we live in a world of information, yet nobody uses it. But anyways, I use that quote all the time, by the way.
Thank you.
I guess what I'm talking about is, like I said, we haven't had anything groundbreaking like the telephone, like internet, like the TV or anything like that. I'm saying that like the things that we have now that have just been advanced, that does not make sense to me. There's no way that you can tell me that in the matter of a couple years we are able to get smartphones from a razor. You can't tell me that. I'm sorry. Like I just don't firmly
What do you
believe
mean?
that. There
It's
was
basically
like
just like crunching a microprocessor like to like a tiny TV screen is basically what it
right.
is.
Okay, but then
Crazy
okay.
part is the internet on it. The fact that we can search the
You have
internet
no,
on
okay,
our
but you have
fucking phones
internet.
is
You
insane.
have apps, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, like all these things. Like it wasn't like smartphones came out and then 5 years later, Facebook and all these things were invented. Like
Social media is poison.
Absolutely,
it's just
100%.
it's just like you went from so you went from a razor and then you kind of got smaller, a little bit smaller, then you turned it sideways and added a keyboard, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, everything's touch screen, you can surf the web, you can
Yeah,
send
that's fucking
pictures in this like by this and that, and you can do this and that. Like there was no like
Well,
in
Yeah,
all
between,
touchscreen
yeah,
is
but
is
I
just
think you
like an
forget the
informational
in-between.
layer.
Because there were phones that had slide outs with touchscreens.
QWERTY,
Mhm.
dude.
right,
And then there were
right,
Blackberries, and then there was the original iPhone, which was a piece of shit. And now we're
right, but do you
Dude, the original
remember?
iPhone was so AIDS. I remember that shit. Yeah, what up?
I mean, if you were one of the people that your parents allowed you to use the website, like internet on your flip phone, like do you remember what internet looked like on flip phone?
It was ass.
It was
Yeah,
You could
totally
barely,
it
get,
was
you
like
could barely get on Google, dude. And then you could search like one result, and then it was like end of page, and you're like, what the fuck?
yeah, like it's so like to be able to go from that to just being able to just full blown surf the web. You could pull porn up on your phone. You could do this. You could do that. Like yeah, it just
I
doesn't
see
make sense to me.
smartphones more as not an advancement of cell phones. I see it more of as a micro computer. That's how I look
Yeah,
at
it's
smartphones.
just-
Like
it's
they
ba-
just
that's-
shrunk a
that's basically
computer
what
But
mine
that
is.
but that
with
but
the
that is an
concept of
advancement.
because like if you think
Oh
of
shit, we
phones
got
now,
15 viewers.
we should probably rename
Hey.
phones because really nobody really uses their phones for phone calls. They use it for like social media, internet browsing. It's more of a computer now than it is a phone.
Brutal.
If you think
Yo,
about that,
literally-
it really is.
Yo,
Yeah, it is a computer, but to be able to yeah that so you're basically just like making
up,
my
Flash
point even
Chris?
more clear. Like you're just carrying around a mini computer. Like that does not make sense to me. Like the jump in technology to that just seems so far fetched to me. Like there had to have been some intervention from like, dude, I'm just gonna call it out. Like there had to have been like aliens just being like, hey, here's technology.
Nah,
Let's see
man,
how you use
I
it.
disagree.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
No, dude,
most definitely.
it starts from the original computer, and then it starts like, how can we get these electrons smaller and smaller? How can we get this information that we're sending to this computer even smaller and smaller and smaller from the electrical signals of this battery? How can we make these smaller and smaller and smaller? And then that's basically what we have. Like,
I'm telling you, bro. Aliens came to our planet.
Smaller and faster, smaller and faster.
Let me tell-
it's basically
I'm telling
what we
you, dude.
did.
Tweety brought up a good
Aliens?
point. We're reaching the ceiling for like I think the next generation of like Intel processors is like the limit for like how small our processors can get. And that
Yeah, everything. There's so many things that are technically a computer nowadays that I mean, I guess I would classify a computer as something that can search the internet effectively and
a computer is anything
like-
that can compute
Hey,
yeah,
fun-
information.
yeah, but I
Fun
mean
fact
like
for
more of
you.
like a modern day computer. I mean, I would only say like smart, like actual computers
Somebody
are like close
made
computers.
a
You can-
somebody
you can
made
use
an
a smart TV
8-bit
to like
computer.
Google shit,
Hold on,
but I mean
Nico.
that's not a fucking computer.
Hold on, Nico. I'll get you in a second. Somebody
All
made
right.
an 8-bit computer inside of Minecraft.
I saw that. I thought it was
Wait,
a
what?
4-bit computer.
Yes, a 4-bit
Really?
computer. Yeah,
That's insane.
that's it. Like if you think about that, that goes along with like simulation theory. Like we made
that fucking-
we made a computer inside of a computer. That's fucked.
Hey dog, you like computers?
Anyways, go
All
ahead,
right.
I made
Nico.
you a computer inside your computer to sit inside your computer.
Go ahead.
Fun fact for you, Nico's dropping some fun facts right now.
Oh shit.
Um,
Bow, 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 bow.
when racism was still a very, very, very big thing, and prejudice and segregation and all that, did you actually know that black women that typed up notes for people for men in businesses were actually called computers? Fun fact for you.
What?
Really?
They just called those people computers.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Like, they would call the people they would call the people that were typing up. So basically what would happen is like men would come down to this room. It'd be like this segregated room, and basically it would be a bunch of black women just sitting in this room, and they would all have typewriters in front of them. And so they would bring them the notes that they needed that were handwritten that they needed typed up, and they would just hand them off to them. They would type them up for them and then bring them back to them. And the black ladies that were actually typing everything up were called computers.
Well,
Little
They
fun
call,
compute
they call it an
was-
abacus. They called an abacus the first computer.
Isn't compute was a word before computer, right?
Yeah, well, to
Mhm.
compute is to like calculate or
Right.
like it's
Exactly. Okay.
fast
Fast, bro.
and like so fast, dude. Dude,
So
like
fast.
I've actually been thinking about this a lot lately, like how crazy it is that literally a computer started out as basically something to like just calculate simple math problems and
Ones and
store
zeros.
simple ones and zeros through electrical signals is like basically all a fucking computer is. So people looking at this right now is like it's literally the computer building up from its source code, telling our computer screen, right, or our monitor to like show like individual like colors like that are faded like to our screen, dude. It's so fucking nuts.
I wish I
Like-
had the perspective of a caveman, honestly, because like if you really think about it, we've come so fucking far, like for real.
Yeah,
Okay, so we were just
that's why I want to
talking
get into
about
coding like really badly.
we were just
You wanna
talking
what?
about technology and like technology increasing. I just posted a link in the Discord that it shows every major
Fuck yeah.
technological innovation in the last how many years? 150 years.
Really?
And I thought that it literally just popped up as we were talking about it. It
You
was
see
just
what-
on my like recommended stuff.
You see what
that's
Boblislaw-
creepy.
You see Boblislaw? I hate people with really long names. Bob Bloblislaw blog. Did you see what he said? Do you see what he said about the
Did you
QWERTY
know that
layout?
the QWERTY layout was designed to be slower because its creator wanted people to slow down so they didn't jam their typewriters? Vacuum
Hmm.
tubes, let's bring them back. What? But isn't
Oh
this
my God.
crazy? Like, I mean, just looking like from 1991 to present, text messaging, Apple, Newton, Mosaic, and then you got DVDs, you got Windows 95, USB ports, Netflix, Google. Like, it's pretty.
It
I
went
thought
it
this was
went
pretty
Netflix
cool.
then Google. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it went Google Netflix.
I mean, it's Business Insider, so it's
Just imagine
It's a
having
reliable
Netflix without
source.
Google.
Wait, Netflix came.
No.
Was Netflix? No way. Because how would they even advertise?
yeah. Let's see.
Right.
Yeah, well, they used to. I know how, because I remember getting. I never was subscribed to Netflix when they had just like the videos out, because like that was around like the Blockbuster era, like on the last cusp of the Blockbuster era, dude. Oh my God, every time I think of Blockbuster, I just get super sad because I fucking loved Blockbuster.
Hey,
Like,
Yeah,
I used to get
Blockbuster was sick.
you
used to get
guys are
Pokemon
wrong.
games from there.
You guys are wrong.
Netflix came out before Google.
And Netflix was founded August 29th, 1997.
What the
Google?
fuck?
September 4th, 1998.
What did Netflix
What
do
the
though? Like technically
They-
Netflix could have been like a potato farm and they just
They-
changed the name. You know what I mean?
mailed DVDs, or was it? Did DVDs come before?
Were they really?
Netflix?
Was Netflix trying to sell to Blockbuster?
Yes.
Yep.
So what did they do? They just mailed wholesale DVDs to like Blockbuster and shit.
Let's see.
And they laughed
Blockbuster-
at Netflix. Oh
Yep,
my
a
God.
computer mail order company.
Well, yeah, I know. All right, so I know.
I know. I'm reading it right now, so I'm just kind of talking out loud. Sorry.
Oh, they tried to get
Alright.
Blockbuster to buy the company, but like, what did Netflix do originally? I know Nico's trying to figure that out right now. Like, what? Like, cause I know that around like
Could have been mail order videos
Because I didn't even hear about Netflix until
like 2012.
no, it was way before that.
Oh yeah,
it
you're
was,
right. No, 2000,
it was probably,
2007.
like 2009, 2008.
2007 was the earliest I think I heard of it because I remember my dad, used to live in Missouri, and I went out there like 7th grade, and he was ordering Netflix movies, and it would take
Yeah,
like
but
2 days
they
to
must
get
have
there.
had such a small demographic, Tweety. The
Okay, so this is
to
what it
make a
says.
company in 1998 when like people were still using like home video
VHS.
stores. Yeah,
Right.
like mailing that was just didn't make any sense. Mail costs must have been fucking ridiculous to mail a DVD. Plus, like for them to loot, like they they must have started out like wholesaling DVDs and like doing something else. Like it couldn't have
So
been the mail order thing. It
this
just
is what it
probably.
says. It says Hastings invested 2.5 million in startup cash for Netflix. Randolph admired the fledgling e-commerce company Amazon and wanted to find a large category of portable items to sell over the internet using a similar model. They considered and rejected VHS tapes as too expensive to stock and too delicate to ship.
Yep.
that's what
When
I
they
said.
heard about DVDs, which was first introduced in the United States on March 31st, 1997, they tested the concept of selling or renting DVDs by mail by mailing a compact disc to Hastings' house in Santa Cruz. When the disc arrived intact, they decided to take on the $16 billion home video sales and rental industry.
Dude, that's fucking insane. Like, they must have made no money.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
right
why
off
we
the
didn't
bat.
hear anything about him.
It says Hastings is often quoted saying that he decided to start Netflix after being fined $40 at a Blockbuster store for being late to return a copy of Apollo 13.
Wait, what happened?
Thank-
Oh, wait,
thanks,
oh, for
Blockbuster.
late fees?
Yep, and it says Netflix was launched on April 14th, 1998 as the world's first online DVD rental store with only 30 employees and 925 titles available. That's
All right.
crazy.
Let's
all
watch.
right.
Let's watch this video before we get off topic. I want to show people this.
Yeah,
The
we
evolution
got
of
like 10
modern
minutes.
technology.
Okay.
Pull it
All
up.
right. Yep, I got it up right now.
Let me know
Tell
when
me
you
when
guys
to
are
play
ready.
it. I'm ready.
I've got it.
Almost.
Ready, Mike?
Yeah, whenever you got the scene switched.
3, 2, 1, go. Hopefully this isn't a shitty video. This is just the first one that I
Make sure that
saw.
we put in a copyright.
Yeah, I don't have any audio on it. It's just 1770. Horse and buggy, dude.
Dude, why are we going back so far? I would have loved what they started at the caveman. Fire was the first technology.
Oh, they go to
They were like, what the
1876.
fuck?
76.
Okay.
They didn't explain it. Okay.
Dude, what a
1950.
huge jump.
I know, this is a shitty video.
God damn it.
I mean, but it still shows you, you know.
It's just
These are huge
exploded.
jumps.
Yeah, but it wasn't like
The
this.
way we find love.
Oh my god. I'm
Now it's
upset
gonna
that
jump.
I've
Now it's
wasted
gonna jump
50
to.
seconds
Now
of
it's
this
gonna
Yeah.
jump
video
to
already.
Tinder.
Yeah. That's pretty upsetting.
Dude, they jumped so hard. They were like, horse-drawn buggies, Tinder,
Yeah.
the world has
Yeah.
changed.
Fuck that video.
Porn.
Swipe right on some titties.
Porn anywhere you want. Porn all
Porn
the
right
time.
now.
Porn,
Boobs.
porn right now if you
It's
want.
just like, this guy's really horny. Oh my
What are you looking
god.
up, Nico?
What'd you say?
So what are you looking up?
Yo, fuck this video, but it is kind
That
of
video
crazy.
sucked.
That video.
Sorry about that, guys.
Nuts, dude.
The video was terrible.
That was
Dude, that was
That
so
was
bad.
trash.
Yo, like, I thought they were gonna go way more in depth until I saw like the 1 minute 29 runtime, and I was like, they're starting at horse-drawn buggies. This is not gonna go well.
And then
Can
they went from
can we
18.
please watch this UFO video that Eric sent? I haven't
already
seen
played
it.
it.
I want to see it.
Go ahead and watch it. I
Did
already
you?
played it. Yeah. I
Dude.
played it while you guys were talking, because I figured we wouldn't get to it. Somebody's got me loud because I can hear myself.
Yeah, I think it's Aaron.
Is it really?
I don't know. It's not me.
I don't
Might be
think-
Nico. He's really close to his mic right now.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
it's
your
me.
boy.
Okay.
Because I don't
Is
even
it?
have Skype open on my computer.
Yo,
Yeah, but it could be
I'm
picking
muted.
up from your headset, your microphone
I have
to
it
your
muted.
headset.
I really
Sorry.
do. I really do love like the jump in technology though, but I just
You have to
dislike.
understand where I'm coming from, though. Like to an extent, like.
Oh yeah, I mean it is
seems
kind
very
of crazy.
bizarre.
But when
It's
you
not
if you
too
know
out of
if you know how
reach.
it works, if you start like at the bottom of like what all right, so you'd have to like go back to like early computing, if you understand how like early computing works and like how much time you can put into a year into like how like they've evolved like their understanding of computers, so they're like, okay, we know this, how can we make this better? And so they just spent years and years doing that, and then they're like, how can we make this better? Then it kind of makes sense because it didn't just go from like 1998 where or like the fucking 70s when they were like coming out with like the fucking Commodores, whatever. Like they didn't just go from like that to like just iPhones, you know? It wasn't just like a huge jump. It took like years to get to that point. And once we got like cell phones, which were like basically mini computers, like the processors were already so fucking small, like it's not that like crazy to think that we've jumped even more into like better computing powder.
I mean, like,
Powder.
I
Yeah,
don't know, like,
computing powder, bro. Shred the
Computing
powder.
powder for $5.99 a bag.
I'm not so much like discrediting our like scientists or like our people who are in charge of, you know, advancing technology or anything. It just seems like it seems very, very, very strange to me. Like I said, like there's things that are going on in today's society and have gone on in years and years ago that just makes you think um it just makes you think. Yes, we also suck toes, in case you're wondering.
What's up, sir?
Um,
Slow stroking. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
but anyways, so okay, so there's things that have been happening in today's society and even things that have been happening years and years ago that just make that doesn't add up in forms of like, if things were happening like that back then like we should either be much more behind or much more forward. It kind of like it
Oh
depends
no,
on
that's
how
what I was
you
saying
look at
before.
it.
We should be way more advanced than. That's what I was trying to get
I
off earlier.
agree. I agree. We should.
Way
We
more
should.
advanced than we are right now.
I think it's just complacency, or
And
like
that's
lack of
literally what I said.
interest.
And it's like I think there was two shooters in Las Vegas. Dude, we're only gonna be on for about like 8 more minutes. We cannot get into Las Vegas shooting, dude. I
Dude, yo,
apologize, but we
yeah.
just cannot, dude. That would take another hour to talk about, to be honest with you. But anyways, kind of like how you were talking about like technology not really advancing.
I wasn't saying it was advancing. I'm not. I was saying that I was trying to get across, probably not in the right way, that like it hasn't advanced in the right direction well enough. It's just advanced in complacency, like Eric said. We're just sitting around on our phones and social media, and we're like, oh, this celebrity's doing this, the fucking Grammys. Whoa,
Kim
like, all
Kardashian.
fucking,
Whoa.
yo, look at Cardi B. Like we like 80% of our society is just fed shit through social media, and we're just swallowing bowls of fucking turds all day.
Yep.
Like when we could be, we all have fucking personal computers in our pocket that are literally limitless supplies of information, and we're just fucking not advancing it like fast enough.
But like, okay, like
right now.
how I was saying that, like
He just goes, I hate liberals.
we've had jumps in technology and we have been making advancements, but like I guess I'm not talking so much as like right now, but like in the past, jumps in technology have just been really, really crazy to me. And like just like looking back and like thinking about it in the past years, it's been really crazy to think about. Now I think that we're to a point that we've already had such a jump in computers and like science and everything that like anything's possible now, like to an extent, I guess.
Also, time gives like a lot of perspective. We're in the moment right now, so it's kind of hard for us to like respect it.
No, absolutely. I mean, most definitely, but like, I don't know. Technology is just such a
Like hindsight is
interesting subject to
2020.
talk
That's like a good kind of way to sum it up. You know what I mean?
I just think
hindsight.
I just think we have like, if you think about, you know, it's another thing that was crazy I was thinking about was like, if you think about the force that people used like for lower, like what's it called, like the proletariats, I guess. Anybody read? Fucking doesn't fucking matter. The lower people of society would be like used to like as like a workforce, and we're kind of like our lower society right now with so many fucking people, like there's so many people that just aren't helping society advance, and I think that's why we're like
We're all
kinda
just coasting
stagnant.
along.
yeah, we're just coasting along with like not wanting to leave our houses, like being like, oh, I don't work today, and
Well, I
just
mean,
taking,
because it's
like,
literally designed to do nothing except for that. Go to your job and make your money and live your
exactly.
cute little life in your house. Like,
Yeah, so that way that it, like, and it's fucking insane.
Damn, I wish I would have found this before we started.
it's pretty
Okay.
sad.
Yeah, it's
They just want
it's
us
just
to be
upsetting.
to just be a massive
I
money
dislike
They
our.
generating
just want us to be, yeah, they just want us to
That's
be
it.
just like literal. You
massive
ever seen Wally?
money making machine.
You ever seen
Wall-E?
Wally with all like the fucking fat people sitting in the chair? Dude? Get my
Yeah.
soda.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what we're gonna be. It's fucking sad.
Did you guys see Ready Player One?
It's trash planet. Dude,
No,
I
I
fucking
didn't.
hate it.
Yeah.
Did you read the book? Did you read the
No.
book, Eric?
No.
Dude, oh my god, nobody's fucking read. I feel like I'm the only person that fucking reads out of like
I
all my
read,
friends.
just not as much as you.
Dude, yo, Ready Player One is fucking dope. The book is amazing. The movie, all right, actually, the movie was entertaining, really pretty good. I just have a problem with reading books before I see movies, and I need to stop fucking doing that because I'm always disappointed. There's only like been like 2 movies that have been like lived up to like the book translation. I've talked about this with Connor like extensively, but it's like, oh
Right.
god, I'm like I can't watch a movie if I've seen the book or I've read the book and then I watch the movie.
I saw
I've
the
seen
book.
the book
I
and
put
read
my
the
eyes
movie.
on the book.
Interesting.
It's not that like interesting, but yeah, Ready Player One, like the concept is fucking awesome, and Eric, you would fucking love the book. It is so much better than the movie.
What?
It's
What-
long as shit though.
All right, we got 4
wow.
minutes, so why don't we go ahead and sort of wrap this up? What are your guys? What's your guys' like most interesting conspiracy that you like to think about?
Hands down, aliens.
Dude, slow stroke, and that's pretty crazy, dude. I just googled.
Mike, what about
Damn.
you?
Wait, what happened?
Iron Mike passed away. He was a retired Special Force Major General.
Oh, I thought yeah. When I had to just read down because when he said Iron Mike, I thought he meant Mike Tyson.
That's what I thought
like-
too. I
I was
didn't
like,
want
That's why
to.
he
no, and then I
said-
saw not Mike Tyson. I was like, oh, okay.
All right, so Nico and
Somebody
Mike,
else just-
what are your guys' favorite conspiracies?
Favorite conspiracy? The missing Malaysian plane.
That's your favorite conspiracy.
Absolutely, most definitely.
Interesting. What
I
about
think
you,
that's
Mike?
very, very strange that a plane just disappears.
You mean like just a specific one, or like I guess the JFK one, like I've said a billion times, but also I really like the simulation theory and like anything to do with the Bermuda Triangle is really interesting as well.
I like aliens
I like
too,
pyramids
obviously.
because pyramids has lots
Fuck
to do
with
with
aliens
aliens.
way too hard.
Aliens, aliens
I
is
think I'm
such a
gonna lose
good.
my mind one day.
But Eric, what about you, man?
I just said pyramids
Oh,
because pyramids has
Okay.
lots to do with like aliens in my mind too.
yeah, for sure.
Same.
All right, guys, we're
Yeah,
gonna wrap it up.
Definitely does.
I'm gonna do a lot of promoting and a
Um,
lot of plug-in right here, real quick. If you guys are new to us, appreciate you for coming out. Hit us with a follow. Mike wrote this. I'm probably not gonna read what you wrote, Mike. I'm just
I just want to
It's a
say something
fun
real
thing.
quick before you start. We do just want to clarify to anybody that's watching, these are just theories. They're nothing that like have been proven yet, because if they have been, then we wouldn't really be talking them as.
No, it's
Uh,
lies. It's
them
facts.
as,
Time
like-
travel's real. Aliens are real.
It's not something that's
9/11
been
was an
proven
inside job.
yet, so we just wanna throw that out there that these are just theories. We were just kind of talking about what we think about them, and
Thanks,
you know,
sweetie.
kind of like how we
So-
just perceive these types of things. But Eric, give us a good sign off. Let's get out of here. Come tune in next week, guys, for real. But Eric, take it away.
Eric, read my shit or I'm gonna kill
All right,
you.
I'm gonna read it just because Mike said to. Yo, Large Purple Dragon, thanks for the follow, bro. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow us on twitch.tv/TBB_burger. Huge help to the channel, and if you didn't know already, we go live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at Basement Bros TV to get updates about the podcast and have us answer your questions for next week's episode. We also have some of the links down below in the panels. Use the hashtag TBBtv. All our personal accounts are below, along with our YouTube channel. I'm going to be uploading some short clips of what we talked about today on the YouTube channel, probably in the next few days. Each week we clip the podcast for YouTube, and the full episode audio will also be on iTunes. So make sure you guys go subscribe on iTunes, leave us a nice comment, or a negative one if you want. That's fine too.
Yeah, just tell it it's fucking
Really helps
sucks.
us out. Thanks for all the
Yeah.
support. Thanks for talking with us and tuning in with us. Thanks for cracking jokes. We appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.